Anjana Lama was a Nepali model. A tragic turn came into Anjana's life when she became the victim of a brutal crime that shook the entire nation. The incident happened in 2019. One day, Anjana's family received a phone call from her in-laws' house, where a frantic voice told them to come quickly, saying that a terrible accident had occurred. Without wasting any time, Anjana's mother and her entire family rushed to her in-laws' place. Upon entering Anjana's room, her father witnessed a scene so horrifying that he couldn't stay in the room even for a minute. What did he see that made him unwilling to set foot in that room again? Today's story is about Anjana Lama. She was born on August 26, 1995, in Hetauda, Nepal, and was the beloved daughter of her family since birth. She had 2 younger sisters and a younger brother. Growing up, Anjana's outgoing personality made her many friends in school, and she was incredibly beautiful. Those who saw her often described her as nothing short of a beauty. During her studies, she met Prajwal Mahant, a charming and respectful young man. Initially, they were just friends, but after spending more time together, their friendship turned into love. Their relationship was strong and without any compulsion, and within 2 years, they decided to get married. However, their families were against the decision because they came from different backgrounds and believed the relationship would not be accepted. With no other option, they eloped with the support of Prajwal's elder brother, Ujjwal, the only family member who supported their relationship. After marriage, Anjana and Prajwal decided to live with Prajwal's family in Lalitpur. Though there were initial difficulties, over time, Prajwal's family came to accept Anjana, and she became a part of their family. However, Anjana's family still hadn't fully accepted the marriage, though Anjana had tried to bring everyone together. After some time, Anjana also took her younger brother to Lalitpur to continue his studies. During the day, when everyone was out at work, Anjana was often left alone in the house, which made her feel lonely. To occupy her time, she decided to open a small beauty parlor near their home, and her in-laws supported her decision. Anjana felt everything was perfect with her in-laws accepting and supporting her professional aspirations, while her husband Prajwal deeply loved her. With her family life settled, Anjana also became popular on TikTok, where her videos quickly gained followers, and soon she started receiving modeling offers. Her in-laws supported her modeling career too, and Anjana started earning well. She and Prajwal then began saving money with the idea of moving to Canada for a better future. 2 years after their marriage, Anjana closed her beauty parlor to focus more on modeling. However, the thought of moving to Canada reignited tension in both families. Anjana's sister-in-law, Ujjwal's wife, didn't like her and often complained about her, creating a hostile environment. When Anjana tried to discuss this with her family, they advised her to ignore the issues, assuring her that it would be over once they moved to Canada. On one fateful day in 2019, around 3 p.m., Anjana's family received a call from her mother-in-law, urgently asking them to come to Lalitpur, saying something terrible had happened. Anjana's family was horrified as they made the journey, worried about what they might find. When they finally arrived late at night, they were met with a large crowd and police at Prajwal's house. Anjana's younger brother, who she had brought for his studies, was sitting outside the house, sobbing uncontrollably. A police officer led Anjana's father to her room, where he witnessed a horrifying sight. Anjana's body was mutilated. Parts of her were scattered around the room, her head nearly severed. Unable to bear the sight, Anjana's father rushed outside, crying. Anjana's mother, devastated, demanded the arrest of everyone in the household, but the police informed them that the killer had already surrendered. To their shock, it was Ujjwal, the same Ujjwal Anjana had trusted as a brother figure and who had helped them get married. Ujjwal's confession claimed he acted alone, despite Anjana's previous claims that his wife had ill-treated her. Ujjwal had used a kukri to kill, which is traditionally a tool in Nepal used to cut apples. Along with the report, he provided the police with a detailed account of the crime that shocked everyone. According to him, Prajwal had left for work after breakfast, leaving only Anjana, her mother-in-law, and Ujjwal at home. During the day, Anjana went out to fetch water from nearby, but returned soon because she couldn't find any. Ujjwal observed her from the balcony as she returned and went straight to her room, lying on her bed and engrossed in her phone. Anjana usually locked her door from the inside, but this time she hadn't, which Ujjwal noticed. He grabbed a small **kukri*, but realized it was too small for his purpose, so he went to his parents' room and took a larger one. Ujjwal entered Anjana's room quietly, seeing her busy with her phone. He thought it was the perfect moment to attack, so he rushed in. When Anjana saw him holding the *kukri*, she was confused and wondered why he had such a weapon. But Ujjwal knew what he had to do and started attacking her mercilessly. As he attacked, Anjana tried to defend herself with her left hand, but the *kukri* was so sharp that her hand was cut off and fell to the ground. Ujjwal then began to strike her head while she tried to push him away with her legs, but she suffered injuries there as well. Anjana's left arm was severed, and she had deep cuts on her head and legs, causing her to lose a lot of blood and pass out. Ujjwal feared that if she regained consciousness, she would reveal everything to others, so he continued to stab her neck about 20-25 times. His strikes were so brutal that Anjana's head was almost severed from her body. Her bed was soaked in blood, and Ujjwal was also covered in blood. Despite this, he showed no remorse on his face or in his mind. After killing Anjana, he calmly went to his room and confessed everything to his mother, saying he alone was responsible. From the details shared, it was clear how much hatred Ujjwal harbored towards Anjana. Even the police were confused by the extreme details of the story, yet they still questioned why he had so much hatred for her. Direct answers weren't possible, as people would only lie, but based on evidence, Ujjwal eventually confessed the reasons himself. He disliked Anjana's friendly behavior, her different caste, her use of TikTok, and her modeling, which sometimes involved wearing slightly revealing clothes. However, the final trigger was Prajwal and Anjana's plan to move to Canada, which Ujjwal couldn't accept. He thought she wanted to separate his brother from the family forever. Ujjwal's parents tried to save him by hiring Nepal's best lawyer, using all their resources, even if it meant denying justice to another child. However, their efforts were in vain because Ujjwal had already confessed. The case dragged on in court for 2 years, with Anjana's grieving parents constantly attending hearings in pursuit of justice. Finally, after a long wait, the court sentenced Ujjwal to life imprisonment, bringing justice to Anjana, who was only 25 at the time of her death. You might wonder where Prajwal, Anjana's husband, was during all this and if he was involved in any way. But Prajwal was on his family's side throughout the case, supporting Anjana's family, even when his own family was defending Ujjwal. Prajwal stood up against his family, asserting that Ujjwal was entirely in the wrong. Although he never suspected the depth of hatred Ujjwal harbored towards Anjana, he had always seen them joking and laughing together at home. As Prajwal and Anjana were planning their move to Canada, he decided he couldn't stay in the house where his wife was brutally murdered and eventually moved to Canada, where he now lives alone. The purpose of sharing this story is not to disturb anyone but to raise awareness.